Welcome to this quick, energizing yoga sequence to use first thing in the morning to kickstart your day, or any time throughout your day when you just need a bit of an energy boost. This yoga sequence is gentle enough that you can enjoy it any time throughout your cycle, and I'll be giving you some modifications throughout as appropriate. The goal here is really just to get the body moving and get your breath flowing so that you can feel that bit of mood boost and energy boost to carry you through the rest of your day. So we'll get started right away. You can stand with your feet a little bit wider than hips width distance and just add a soft bend into the knees. And I'll be mirroring you in movement for this first part of the sequence here. So you'll take your arms, reach them up and overhead, nice and tall, and then cross your right leg over left, and then take your left hand with your right fingertips and lean over in the opposite direction. So we're leaning up and over to the right. Deep side body stretch here. Awakening the side channels, especially if you're using this first thing in the morning. The back can be a bit stiff. So we're just going to work into all planes of motion here. Come up through center, reach both arms tall. Then we'll switch sides now. Cross your left foot over the right. Grab your right wrist with your left fingertips and then lean up and over to the left. Really press through that left foot. Anchor the outer edge of your right foot. And breathe here. Let your breath really begin to expand. That can be our greatest energy boost, is just a deep, full, heating breath. Come up through center, reach both arms high. And then find a gentle cactus shape in the arms, elbows come to the shoulders, lift through the chest. Keep your belly hugging in. Draw the tail toward the inner heels. Maybe send your gaze up. And then as you exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Begin to stretch the knuckles toward your inner heels. Once again, broadening the chest. Take care not to flare the low ribs. Can you knit the hip points and the low ribs toward each other? Take a big breath here. You can turn to face the short edge of your mat. Nice soft bend in the knees as you fold. Bring your belly to thighs. You can send the knuckles up towards the sky now. If it feels good, release your head and neck. Then let the hands come to the mat. Keep that bend in the knees. Plant your right hand down in front of you and begin to twist the left arm open. As you do, bend into the right knee deeply, straighten the left leg. Bit of rotation for the spine here. Let your gaze be wherever it's most comfortable in your neck. And then switching sides, left hand comes down, bend into the left knee, spin the right arm open, straighten that right leg out. Just kind of giving a bit of attention to the whole body here, to awaken, to ignite, using the breath, release, exhale. On your next inhale breath, begin to straighten your spine, lift halfway up, stretch the crown away from the tail. And as you exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank pose. So this first plank pose, you can take the knees down if that's supportive. Draw your belly in. Keep the heart stretching forward, and then magnetize the heels of your hands to the balls of your feet. Imagine you're trying to ripple the center of your mat by drawing those two ends together to ignite, to activate the belly. Then as you inhale, shift some weight forward for this first round. Take the knees down, bend the elbows back, hug the arms close to your body as you lower to the belly. Gentle cobra here, come onto the fingertips. Keep your lower body heavy, press from the hip points all the way down the legs, tops of the feet and toes into the mat. Curl the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up, cobra pose. So this can be a little cobra, especially if you're in your flow days and feeling any sensitivity in the back. Or if you're in your follicular ovulatory phase, maybe you want to open it up a bit more. Really activate the legs, stretch them back here, big breath. And exhale, release down. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your knees grounded, tuck your toes. As you inhale, press up into that plank shape. And on the exhale, downward facing dog here, pedal out your feet. So our first entry to downward dog, your legs need not be straight. You can keep that deep bend, stretch the sitting bones up. And then without collapsing into the elbows, can you wrap your upper inner arm bones toward the front of your mat here? Press evenly through all 10 finger pads. Bring one heel closer to the earth and then the other. Keep breathing here. Can you create that rhythmic pattern in the breath? In and out. On your inhale, let the knees come down. Tabletop here, we'll enjoy cat and cow, such a great posture and sequence to move the spine, especially early morning. As you inhale, soften the belly, send the sitting bones back, let the gaze ripple up. And then from the tail, let that initiate the motion. Curl the tail under, coil the belly, round the upper back, press into the hands, chin to chest. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, round. Last one like this, inhale deeply. And exhale. One more spinal twist here. Inhale, stretch your left arm up and open. Imagine a gentle press of the hands to create some twist in the upper back, really working into the back of the heart. And then as you exhale, thread that left arm under, bring left ear to the mat. Gentle twist here. Can you draw the hip creases back in space, keeping the hips square and level? And then release that here. Inhale, open the left arm up, and exhale, come back down. Second side now. Inhale, right arm stretches open, press the palm away, and exhale, thread that under. Right ear comes to the mat, really revolving the upper body around the column of the spine. Reaching up once again, inhale. And exhale, that hand comes back down. Walk your hands out towards the top of your mat. Coming back into downward dog now. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Pedal out your feet once again, and we'll begin to flow here. So really just be mindful of where your body is. If you're still feeling a bit tight or a bit tired, just take these postures as you need them. With an inhale, stretch your right leg up and back. So here, you might not be reaching all the way back. It might be a smaller range of motion, and that's totally okay. You'll still reap the benefits and the energizing of this sequence. On your exhale, round the spine, hug your knee into your chest, really press through the hands. Inhale back up. We'll do that twice more. Exhale, core plank, knee hugs in, round the spine, create space. Inhale back up. Last one like this. Exhale, coil through the belly. This time, create space to step your foot forward. So if you're new to this, or you feel like you can't quite get your foot there, you can take it to the outside. Otherwise, coming to the inside, it might get a little bit stuck. You can just help it all the way through. Gentle bend in the back knee as you rise in a crescent lunge. This is a very energizing posture here. So really creating the 4 movements of lunge. You have your right shin moving forward, left heel stretching back, your right hip crease descending, your left thigh lifting up. Big breath here. And exhale, sink a little deeper. Now we'll add some movement. Inhale, breath. And as you exhale, lower the arms, tap the back knee down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, down. You can create a circle with the arms if you have the space. Really just creating circulation, allowing some blood to flow out into the limbs here. Last 3 like this. Inhale and down. Reach up and back down. Last one, inhale and tap the back knee. Come back up through your lunge, the arms reach up. Keep that stable foundation, and as you exhale, twist to the right. So this might be just kind of a gentle twist. Don't worry if you can't quite get all the way around. Hug the inner thighs to the midline. Keep your hips stable and strong, and imagine that hand, that gentle press of the right palm open. Big breath here, coil the belly in. And as you exhale, touch your left hand to the inside of right foot, spin the right arm open. So these gentle twists can be very energizing for the spine. Improve circulation here. And then exhale, the right hand comes down. We'll enjoy that basic vinyasa sequence here, coming back to plank. Shift your weight forward, knees up or knees down. Bend the elbows, hug the arms in tight. And cobra pose once again. Lower body stays heavy, hips are planted. Exhale, release. Your choice, knees up or knees down, tuck the toes. And with an inhale, come into plank. Exhale, downward dog. We've got the second side now. Inhale, stretch your left leg high. Again, being mindful of where your range of motion needs to be in this moment. Exhale, core plank, hug the left knee into chest, round your back. Inhale, extend, create length and space. Exhale, coil into that space. Last big breath here. And exhale, hug it in. Step your left foot through between your hands or to the outside, whatever path you need to take. Gentle bend in the back knee as you slowly rise. Reach the arms up here. Find your 4 movements of lunge. So left shins forward. Right heel stretches back. That separates the thigh bones. Left hip crease descends. Right thigh is pressing up. So you have this strong, powerful stance in the legs. Keep that. Reach the arms back up. We'll add the movement here as you exhale, back knee taps down, the arms circle down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. This is an opportunity to tap into the sound of your breath. Deep inhales, slow exhales. Last 3 here. Tapping the back knee down and reaching up. Last one. Come back up through your lunge. Find that stable place. And then as you exhale, twist open to the left. So the left palm really pressing to rotate the spine here. Hug the inner thighs to the midline to create that stable point from which you can rotate open. You got this. On your exhale, right hand comes down inside your left foot. Spin the left arm open. And then left hand touches down. Step the left foot back into plank. Shift your weight forward, lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. So these gentle back bends, so nice as a source of energy. Release down, exhale. Tuck the toes, knees up or knees down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. We'll take a pause between our flows here. Letting the knees come down, find your shins. So we'll come up into this kneeling position on the shins. So here's an opportunity to really cater this practice to your cycle. So if you're in your late luteal or menstrual phases, I want you to keep this posture supported. So we're going into camel. So for those phases, you're going to stop. You're going to breathe into the supported version of the pose. If you're in your follicular, your ovulatory phase, you can start to reach for the heels when appropriate. So we'll start our first round with the toes tucked under. Reach your arms out in front of you. Hug your elbows into your sides. Create some space across the front of the chest. And then send your thumbs back behind you. Find that openness. And lift the center of the heart up as you curl the low ribs and the hip points together. Bring your hands to your low back now. Fingers can point up or point down. Once again, draw the elbows toward each other and then begin to crawl up the bones of the spine as you lean back. So creating space first before you move into the back bend. So again, late luteal menstrual phases, you're staying here, just creating traction in the spine by heavying the sacrum toward the inner knees. If you're in the first half of your cycle, you can start to reach for your inner heels now, and then press into the inner heels to lift the chest. And you might start to draw the chin back towards your neck. Maybe send the gaze back in space. Press your thighs forward and away. Lift the heart up and out. Last big breath. slowly begin to look forward. If you have your hands on your heels, bring them back to your low spine, and then slowly exit the pose. So camel pose, it's as good as a cup of coffee. You'll start to feel your heart rate is elevated. You feel some heat. So we'll just rest for a moment and receive that energy. Let the sensation from the spine dissipate a bit. It can be an intense back bend there. You might just kind of gently shift from side to side to help that sensation move through your spine. And then as you're ready, hands come to the top of your mat. We'll step the feet back, lift the hips into downward facing dog. Once again, we'll lift the right leg up and back for one more flowing sequence here. Exhale, coil through the belly round. This should feel good after camel pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, core plank. Let out some heat, some energy there. Last time, coil through the belly. This time, step your foot forward between your hands. Turn your back heel down so that your front heel aligns with the back arch. The outer edge of your back foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. So preparation for warrior two. We'll rise in warrior two. Let your arms reach out to T. So just take a moment to notice your body in space. Where are your hands? Can you level the arms from left to right, creating a bit of mind-body connection here? And then from here, we'll enjoy eagle pose in the arms. So I will be opposite you in movement now that I'm facing you. And you'll begin to take your right arm under left, wrap at the upper arms, the elbows, forearms, and wrists. You can always bring the backs of the hands and forearms together if that's better in your shoulders. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the low belly in, send the tail towards the earth without tucking it under. Big breath here. And then as you exhale, begin to lean your fingertips, your torso forward over your front leg. And pause for a moment here. Feel the belly, the entire abdominal wall activate. And then we'll start to unwrap the arms. The right arm reaches right out in front of you, left arm overhead. So this is a fiery pose for the belly. Last big breath, inhale. And slowly rise up back to warrior two. From here, we'll turn to face the long edge of the mat. Let your toes turn out, your heels turn in. Find a deep squat here. I'm just going to adjust my mat for a moment. So you're in that deep goddess squat, creating some traction in the low spine. And just allow for a bit of a side bend here. So you can take, I'll mirror you now, your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. And then come down through center, reach away. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches overhead. Keep the knees deeply bent, come back up through center. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up toward the sky. And as you press your palms up, let your pelvis dip down. So creating some space all through the upper body here. Allowing the pelvis to just be buoyant here for a few breaths. And then slowly release that. We'll turn the feet, the right toes back to the top of your mat. Coming back into warrior two to exit this side. And as you exhale, take your hands down to frame your foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Come back into plank, inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Stretch the legs back, activate the legs, cobra, inhale. Exhale, down. Tuck your toes, inhale, plank. And exhale, downward dog. One more side here, inhale, reach the left leg up and back. And exhale, coil through the belly. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hug in. Last one, big breath. And exhale. This time, step your left foot through between your hands. Turn the back heel down. Rise in warrior two. So again, the arms reach out to T, shoulders directly over the hips. As you sink the hips down, can you telescope the ribs up and out? Shoulders are soft, gaze is over the left fingertips. On this side now, eagle arms, wrap the left arm under. Feel that stretch across the back of the heart. We'll be here for a breath more. And then as you exhale, lean over your left thigh, stretch your fingertips toward the front of your mat. So really feel length in the right side here. Wrap the left sitting bone underneath you. And then unwrap the arm so the left arm stretches straight out, right arm is overhead. Feel the belly fire up here. Can you create the same length in the left side waist as you have in the right? Slowly come back up through warrior two. We'll turn to face the long edge of the mat once again. Toes turn slightly in, heels slightly out, big inhale. And then I'll turn just to face you here so I don't have my back to you for this whole time. And we'll reach up, create length. And then as you exhale, fold over your legs. Nice wide-legged forward bend here. So make sure that your hips are even with your ankles. There's a tendency to kind of want to shift the weight back into the heels. Keep it kind of forward in the ball mounts of your feet. And then you can start to create downward dog in the upper body. Stretch your fingertips out and forward away from you. Really getting into the spine here. And then slowly walk the hands up, back towards your feet. Bend into the knees to slowly rise. Arms reach up. As you exhale, turn your left toes out. Bend into the left knee, warrior two. And slowly find your way out, taking the hands to frame your foot. Back toes turn. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower to the belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale, curl the heart up. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck your toes. Find plank pose. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. So we have one more series of back bends here, and then a gentle sequence to cool us down, and we'll be on our way. So you inhale, come forward, plank pose. Option to lower the knees or just slowly lower all the way to the belly here. So we're coming into bow pose. This is another deep back bend. So if you're in that latter half of your cycle or in your flow days, you can take this a bit more gentle. So we'll begin by bending the knees and really kind of softening the belly into the floor. And then you can reach your arms back, find any point that you can connect to on your feet. So it might be the outer edges, it might be the ankles, it might be the inner edges. And this might be enough, especially if you're late in the cycle or you're in those flow days. This might be a good gentle back bend, gentle massage for the belly. If you want to take it up, turn up the heat, begin to roll your shoulders up and back. And then press your feet into your hands into your feet to come into the back bend, bow pose. So imagine you're pressing the upper thighs up in space. So you're lifting the thighs off the mat and then squeeze the inner knees together. So we're keeping the legs parallel. Then can you stretch all the way up through the heart? Press your feet into your hands to create that lift. Last big breath, inhale. And exhale, release. Pillow your hands beneath your forehead. Let your sacrum sway from side to side. So again, being mindful here, just allowing the sensation to dissipate. When you feel all of the sensation has trickled out, begin to bring your hands under your shoulders. Keep the knees down for this one, and we'll press up into plank pose. Start to cross the ankles behind you, transitioning to a seat. So we'll have a bit of core activation to send us on our way. It's always nice to leave with that imprint, that core stabilization as you start to move and transition into whatever comes next. Let your fingertips come behind you. Squeeze your inner knees together, inner thighs together. Keep the big toes touching. And then slowly begin to lift your heels off the mat. This might be where you stay. Next path up is to bring the shins to 90 degrees. Again, this might be where you stay. Or you can extend the legs all the way up, so long as it doesn't create any rounding in the spine. So you want to keep that straight, strong spinal column here. Take a big breath in. We'll just have gentle taps with the toes. So tap down and lift up. Keep the heart broad here. You can also release the arms for a bit of added balance and core challenge. You should feel the belly firing up here, but without impeding the breath. So the breath is the priority. The breath is boss. Last 3, 2, and 1. Release the feet down. Take your hands behind you. We'll enjoy a breath in upward table. So you can stretch your heels a bit away from your sitting bones so that you have room to move up and forward. And then begin to press into the hands, lift the hips to the height of your knees, and use the glutes to give a gentle squeeze here. Broaden across the chest, feel that stretch. Knees should be over the ankles. And then release. Slowly coming down. Our last posture here, a gentle twist. So we'll cross the right foot over the left knee. And you can kind of wrap your hands around your shin and then move your belly into your right thigh to create that tall spine here. The right hand reaches behind you. Inhale, stretch your left arm up. So again, find the twist that's appropriate for the phase of the cycle you're in. You might just hug the right thigh with your left arm, or you might be able to bring your elbow to the outside of the right knee. So it's a bit more intense, especially if you're having any cramping or low spine strain here. You might go for the gentle twist. Press the left foot away from you, and then anchor the right foot into the mat. Soften the shoulders away from the ears here. Maybe gaze over the right shoulder. Big breath. And exhale. Slowly untwist here. Letting the spine come back to neutral. And we'll switch sides. Left foot to the outside of right knee. Again, your options here, either just hug or reach that right arm high. Twist and bring the elbow to the outside. Finding your pathway here, make this your own. Press the right foot away. Left foot anchors down into the mat. You can gaze over your left shoulder here with every breath, creating space in the spine. And every exhale, twisting a bit deeper. And then slowly release that. Shake your feet out in front of you, deep bend in the knees. You can just wrap your hands around your feet. Press your feet into your hands and pull your hands around your feet to stretch the upper back. Then we'll turn, we'll come into our seated position here. And just give yourself 3 to 5 breaths of transition to really notice anything that has shifted for you in this movement practice. Just really acknowledging if you feel even a little bit different, even a little bit better. How can you carry that into the rest of your day and the rest of your week? And that brings us to the end of our practice today. I want to thank you so much for being here and for letting your body be moved by Lunge.